Hey everybody, this your girl Donna D, aka the Urban Mommy, and I am back with another podcast. So I hope y'all already could see, ain't no surprise. I'm a little excited, so I gotta, maintain. But as y'all see, I have a superstar right here, MistaMeana. How he likes to say, one half of PNC.
One half of partners in crime.
All right, so can you introduce yourself? I have a lot of viewers that aren't from New Orleans, and well, I know you nationwide, but I do have some people that's in like Australia and other places. So tell them who you are.
Well, I'm Mr. Mean. I'm one half for the group Partners in Crime, from, from New Orleans, Louisiana. Been in the business over 30 plus years. Um, then did a lot of things. Traveled the whole world pretty much. I've been signed to Juvenile at one time. I toured with Mystical a lot, and I was a part of Rap a Lots. Uh, I had a situation at least with Rap a Lot. So like I say, I've worked with a ton of different artists, especially from New Orleans, and I'm honored just to be here. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So
All right, so y'all, he being a little modest, like for real. Like we here because we talking about his book. So he does have a book that's out. It's called
yep.
the story of an unknown legend. So do
Hmm.
really a legend. I remember I'm gonna tell y'all a quick little story. I sent him a message about coming on the podcast,
Hmm.
and I was so excited because I got a message like early in the morning, and it said Michael. It said your name, and I was like Michael Patterson. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, I was so excited. So the people probably could see I am excited, but I did go on YouTube. I didn't watch almost all the videos, so I'm all
Hmm.
up to date. But
Right.
we here to talk about. We're gonna talk a little bit about New Orleans, and we're gonna talk about your book. The book is good. I have been reading. It's a lot, but it's good. But let's get started. All right. So going back to to New Orleans, I gotta calm down a little bit. Can you tell me? You talk a lot about clubs and stuff in the book. So can you tell me what's your favorite? If you could pick, I'm gonna say three clubs, all time favorite from New Orleans. What's your top three clubs?
Okay, it would have to be Whispers, Rumors, and Club 49.
Where's Club 49?
Clubs 49 is uptown, like off of Barone, right, not too far from the Melpomene Project, like, so it's like ducked off. It was like down the street from the detour. So the detour and 49 was like a block apart. So you could walk, you go to 49 and you can
Mm.
go to detour. And detour was on Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of them little cuts, alley type cuts, but I was familiar with the area, and I don't know. I love ratchet spots. I love hood spots, and I don't know. It's just like that's the grit of the people. That's the core of the city. You know what I'm saying? Like that's anywhere I go. I just love the hood. I think the hood is the trend of that city. It's the culture of that city. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even be about the violence or the danger that you're into. It's just like the mentality of the people, the vibe of the people. That's usually the true culture of that city if you can get in with them or get embedded with them. So 49 was one of the first clubs that I actually touched the mic on. And so I wish we could have said full clubs because I like the Big Easy too. But 49 was one of those clubs that gave me my first shot at touching the mic. And Whispers, that's like that was just the best club I ever been to, like for us in the city of New Orleans. Everybody who was everybody was in there. Uh, I just liked the vibe, the energy of it. Uh, it wasn't really upscale, but it was like you still had to put on some of your best things, best dress to come through there. So that was a nice spot. And Club Room it was in the ninth ward, and I liked the essence of it. I just loved the vibe. It was one of them gritty spots as well. So Club 49s is an uptown club, or Club Rumors is a downtown club. So you can get the feel of both of them by being in those type of environments. You could feel like what it feel like to be with the downtown environment as well as when you go uptown and uptown thing. Yeah, so that's the clubs I really love.
And where is Whispers? Where was that?
Whispers was on Lake Forest. That was like on Lake
I know it's
Forest,
at
right off.
by that church. I mean, by that church where they got that church now.
daiquiri shop on a Sunday straight to Club Whisper. So it was like this late thing. Then you hit the daiquiri shop, from the daiquiri shop to Whisper. So it was like this little, almost like a ritual. Like gotta do this, gotta do that, and we're gonna end up right here. So it was that type of
Right.
vibe, that type of love.
All right. So I also noticed in the book, I'm gonna be jumping around because I was just writing so many questions. I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit. So you
Okay.
talk a lot about the gong shows. Now I'm a little bit younger, so I don't know, but I know what a gong show. But where were they?
The gong shows were at various clubs. Like so, Bobby Marchand is like the. Hold on, let me put this charger in here because I don't want it to go out on you.
Okay.
Uh, the gong shows is like they're done in various locations. So it was this guy by the name of Bobby Marchand. You know what I'm saying? He was like a musician himself, and as he got up in age, he started like putting talent on. So he started this thing called the gong show, the Bobby Marchand gong show, and it's more like the Apollo. So it's
Okay.
like you come on, people could boo you, cheer you on, like things at that level, and the winner wins a reward, like like a cash like prize, and then they get to come back next week to regain their little throne or title like that, and it was helping artists get recognized as people starting to know you from that because they'll come to the gong show and then they'll get familiar with who you are by either winning it or just participating in it throughout the times. So it was various spots. It wasn't like it was just one spot you can go to for the gong show. It's wherever Bobby Marchand wanted to throw his gong show that particular time. That's where it'll be at. So it was at various clubs throughout the city.
Okay. And like reading your book, that was kind of one of the ways that you kind of got heard. You would go
Right.
to those gong shows, and you were actually winning a lot of them.
Yeah, so it's like I lost the first. Well, I was winning the gong shows probably by myself, but like they started this other thing called it was like a bunch of people had it. Cash Money had the night, Big Boy Records had got the night, but prior to that, it was like an open mic night that they used to do at the Big Easy. So they had took the formula from what it was more like a we call it the Gong Show, but it was like it was off the same spin of the Gong Show. It was like almost what they call now open mic night, where anybody can get on the mic and rap, and you can still get booed and things of that nature. And they had a cash prize for theirs as well. So I was in the Big Easy, like what we would call a Gong Show, but it was an open mic, and I was winning that consistently before I met Kango. And when we first went to do the Bobby Marchand show together, that was the show that we actually lost. Because first of all, we was nervous. That was like a little step up. Bobby Marchand name, like he had all the big wigs in it. So you compete not only with your peers, you're competing with Willie Darrell, guy that's singing, the Lenny song, and just like these real vocalists, like people that was really talented. So and they had been doing it for years prior to us even knowing about it. So you had to compete with them. So like when we first entered Bobby Marchand thing, we kind of lost that one due to us being nervous. That was Kango's first time ever being in a club setting because he was much younger at the time to even get in the club. And so we was, all those jitters kind of like set us back. But from that point on, we just never looked back, you know what I'm saying? And it was like on from that point on. Like we never lost any one of them again. Like, any talent show, any gong show, any open mic we entered, we wound up winning because we kind of worked on our craft prior to going to the gong shows. We had to get chemistry first, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with me doing it by myself, I knew what I do. But me and Kango had to build a chemistry. So once we got our chemistry understood and we hit the mic from that point on, it was on.
Right. And also, I mean, what I've noticed just from watching y'all from little to even to everything, y'all two are so close, and it's crazy that after I read the book and then actually the interview too, when you told me how y'all met, you would really think that y'all been best friends forever. Y'all had literally just met and y'all was locked in.
Right, right, right. It was more like like I'm 4 years older than Kango, so it's like me being 18 years old. I couldn't hang with a 14-year old. Like
Right.
we into two different things. I'm exiting school. He's just entering high school. So that was like a little different thing for me. But what I did recognize in Kango early was that he was like super talented. Like what I'm saying, from the first time I had heard him, I was like, man, this kid got melody. And he didn't write raps. He just everything was in his head. So I was
Wow.
like amazed by that whole little thing. And I was always like I always had mentor type of skills. Like meaning I always like wanted to help the younger man, like, you know what I'm saying, like, don't have to go through some of the things that we go through. So, when I met him, I was almost like, man, with your talent and my know-how, I think we can do something. You know what I'm saying? Because I was, I could rap. I was fairly decent, but he was like superb. Like, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to a skill level. So, but I had vision. I was like a guy that could put things together. I could see how it can go. I could, I don't know. I just had a talent with talent, meaning like I knew what was good, I knew what was needed, I knew what needed to be added, I knew how to get things to project a certain way, what we had to do to get that thing to project that way. So that's what made a good marriage between me and Kango. So once we locked in on a level of like like seeing how dedicated he was to music as well as I was, then that made it happen. I think something happened with Kango where he got put out of high school for fighting or something like that. And then that's when I really took him under the wing. I was in college. I used to just like take my car, come roll with me. I just kind of kept him under my wing then because I don't mind is the devil's playground. So if
Right.
he's just out there just doing whatever without no kind of guidance or big brother or leadership like that, he could have went. It could have been destructive for him. So I just like took him with me. You ain't doing nothing, bro. Come to school with me. You know what I'm saying? And I just had him hanging around me until we developed a certain kind of bond that was just unbreakable to the day.
Right. And something else that you made me think about, like a lot of people may not know this, and a lot of times our rappers and our artists, they actually they're very smart. Like you actually went to college. You went to Southern University.
Yep, I went to Southern. First I went to Delgado, then I went to Southern in Baton Rouge, and I came home and I went to Suno. And I love college. I thought I was gonna be a career student, you know what I'm saying? Because I was the type of guy that I went to school for knowledge, not really for a degree. So,
Right.
and what I mean by that is this: like, I changed my major every semester just because I was inquisitive and wanted to know about something. I was like, I wonder how this like work, or so I just, the next semester, the next year, I'm taking some classes on that because I was just more wanting to be educated on something that I was inquisitive about or something that I wanted to know. So it wasn't. I don't think I never really had a focus of doing anything for us to get a degree, but I was in college to kind of get as much knowledge as I could pretty, obtain, like.
Right. And I saw you had a part in there. It was kind of funny when you were talking about the band director. They called y'all to the front and they said where y'all was from. And then when they saw y'all goals, they was like, we already know. But he told you, we going to let you perform, but don't open your mouth. So did y'all actually get to perform?
Well, what happened was I wanted to like in reading the book. You saw that I came
You
home
left.
one time for one of those. I left school for a minute to come home on one of those breaks, like one of them times where we didn't have to march, and I came home. So in the mix of coming home, I was kind of broke in college. It was kind of struggling. I'm the first kid to go to college in my family, so I had nobody to tell me how what college was about. Like I said, I'm a kind of person that just want to experience stuff, so I just go for it, right? So I go out there. I'm struggling. I don't have no money, and I'm not used to not having or being in position of not having because I've worked or did things all my life to kind of put money in my pocket. So I'm like feeling that. So I come home, King go give me $1,000. When he give me $1,000, I said, man, I got to get back to the money. So I withdrew from college in that semester at Southern. I think I went to Southern for like a half a year, a half a semester, and then when I came home on that break, so I didn't get to do Bayou Classic and all those things that Doc had promised me that we was gonna do. But the band
Mm-hmm.
did wind up playing our music for those events.
Oh,
Like they
wow.
wound up playing Pump the Party on the Field, the whole nine, because by that time we had released the song and they wound up playing it. Like, Southern and Grambling played it for the Bayou Classic. They both did it. Like, so that was respect and that was love. But I didn't get to go do the performance because I had withdrew from school due to financial issues. I needed money, so I
You
came
got to get
home.
some money. Right.
Right.
And they may not know, but you a hustler. You've been a hustler. Like you always been doing stuff to make money. So I completely get that. Like I'm telling you, I learned so much. That's why it's important for y'all. Like, that's why we really talking about the book because, like, you learn so much about you. Like, I have so much respect. Like, now I tell my cousin, she love y'all. She said, well, I'm going to have PNC at my wedding. Like, every time we see
Right.
y'all, we went to the, what y'all just did? The Gentilly Fest. We did the Gentilly Fest when y'all
Uh-huh.
was there. But
Right.
you was actually at Swagman being a cashier.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I worked at Swagman. I was a cashier. Uh Prior to Swagman, I worked at Winn Dixie. I was a stock clerk. You know, I work. You know, like I'm older. Like I'm not like the, I'm not. I don't come from the younger generation where work is like not something that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I told my head to the young people because they more have an entrepreneur mindset. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? We was programmed, and that's what I'm gonna call it because that's what was you know, introduced to us and
Right.
forced on us was get a job, work. You know what I'm saying? So all
Mhm.
I knew is like if I want, you know, you don't work, you don't eat. So that was the mindset, that was the mentality in the mix of hustling because I think we was the generation that was breaking out from the slavery type mentality of work, work, work. Uh,
Mhm.
we was more like, man, I gotta try to make me some money. So we was more into working, but still hustling to try to get away from work, and then this generation that we have now, they just like, we don't work, we just,
They skip
you know
work.
what I'm saying?
Yay.
We want a lot of money and the job ain't gonna give it to us fast enough. So I totally understand it, you know what I'm saying? But the era I come up in, work was something that was, that you had to do to kind of like, put money in your pocket. So that's what I chose to do.
Right. And you was literally making deals in the line. Like the rappers was coming meet you in line. Like, come get me, come holler at me when you get off your shift type stuff.
Yeah, so that's how I got put on with Big Boy Records, Sporty T. It actually came from what we talked about earlier, me being in one of those talent open mic things, gong show settings, and I had wound up beating Sporty T in it.
Mm.
Mainly because I already had a following there, like meaning like the people already knew me there, like from doing it every week. And the week that he entered, it was no difference. It was like that was my crowd, so they kind of still rooted me on. I won, so that made Sporty pay attention to me and kind of recognize me. Like, damn, dude was nice. He had the crowd rolling with him, so he came and swagged me one day, and he saw me and he was like, "Hey, bro, ain't you the dude that was rapping?" You know what I'm saying? In the Big Easy. I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what time you get off? I'm like, 4 o'clock. He was like, "I'm gonna be back." Man of his word. He was sitting out. He came. I'm sitting outside. Came, got me. We talked, and it was curtains from there because he introduced me to Chuck. And Chuck didn't like me in the beginning, but once Chuck saw us get down, it was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? The deal was already on the table. So, that's this sport is sticking with me and not giving up on me, because of what he believed in. And that's the same, you learn from the people that's like older than you or taught you something. So from what he taught me, that's how it was with me with artists. That's why I deal with artists the way I deal with them, because somebody dealt with me and believed in me. So, I know I wouldn't be where I'm at or close to where I'm at if I didn't have somebody that believed in me the same way. So that's what I try to give back to artists of this generation, like an opportunity to, with my know-how, look, bro, I could probably help you this way. I could turn you on to this. So, just try to offer them that opportunity that was offered to me when I first entered the game.
Right. And you say some in the book, you talk about how they were trying to make y'all like y'all was just a bounce team, but they was kind of showing attention to the other people. So, like, is there like a stigma or something that comes with bounce artists or something?
Yeah, but as if you know anything about New Orleans and you know about the sound of bounce, you get put in a box. So what they was doing at Big Boy Records, see, Chuck wanted his label to be known for like a death row. So he
Mm.
had like the G Slims, the Black Menace, the Mysticals, the Ghetto Twins. He had like he wanted his rap, he wanted his label to be gangster rap. Now,
Mm.
even though we was doing bounce, we wasn't doing no P-pop type bounce as much. We was
Right.
kind of talking raw stuff, just like the gangster rappers. We just was doing it over a bounce vibe because that's the culture of New Orleans. That's what was winning in the clubs. So
Hmm.
we just did what we would do on a gangster beat, on a bounce beat, and was doing our thing that way. But he still considered it as bounce because of the sound of it. So they just say, this gonna be the boot camp clique and y'all gonna be the bounce squad. I didn't like that because the guys that he had in the boot camp clique was my partners that respected me as a man, like or a little, little dude with heart and about his business. Like, what I'm saying?
Right.
They never separated me. So for the label CEO to try to separate us, I felt like you looked at me as less than the guys that respect me as more than what you see me as. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that. And that was like some of the little riffs that I had with the CEO out the gate, because I saw that he was trying to divide us, but still use us because we was the ones making the most money for the label. Meaning we dropped the most projects on that particular label, and we was the one bringing in the bread faster than anybody, because you didn't have to put as much into us that you had to put into the other artists to actually get a return on your money. So no, don't treat me like that if you already know like you need me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want the same respect that you get these guys, especially when you know that we making the bread for you. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that was my argument. That was like some of the riffs that I had with the CEO at the time, you know. But rest in peace to Chuck, because I got a lot of respect for him and a lot of love.
Right, right. Rest in peace, definitely. So another thing, you also had the opportunity to go in front, Cash Money, Master P them. So you've kind of went with all the kind of had relationships with all the big groups in the city.
Yeah, I've messed with both labels. You know what I'm saying? I first was offered a deal. Before I was offered a deal with Big Boy Records, I was offered a deal with Cash Money Records. Uh, you know, like I said in the book, I give all the details about how that particular situation went. But just to put it all in a nutshell, you know, me and Baby ain't too far in age. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might look much younger than him, or you know, whatever. But me and Baby not too far in age. I think he's about maybe 2 3 years older than me. So with that being said, I have respect for anybody, especially anybody older, or even equal. I got respect for a bum, but at the end of the day, I just felt like me and Baby was gonna bump heads with my personality and attitude at the time, his personality and attitude at the time. I just felt like that was like fusing. That's like a little time bomb just waiting to explode. You know what I'm saying? Because he stood on his business the way he moved, but I stood on my business the way I move, and I'm the type of person that what I get beat the hell out of, I'm gonna speak my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say what I think it is. I'm gonna voice my opinion. If I feel like I don't like how things going, I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak on it. So I just felt like, you know, I don't think I could deal with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I gave Kango the option to still deal with them. You know, he chose to ride with me because he felt like he came in the game with me, and that's where we went at. The thing with Master P was Master P offered us an opportunity to come to Richmond, do a song for Down South Hustlers. Actually, it was with C Murder. So we was going out there to work with C Murder. We did the song. P wasn't on the song. Yeah, he finally got on the song, but he promised us a certain amount of money. I speak about how much money it was in the book and details of that level. And then, you know, he just went ghost on me. So when we do bump heads, you know what I'm saying? You know, just like any other man, you're gonna ask about your bread. And all for that, you know, with these guys being the moguls that they are, they wasn't even a mogul yet, but there was the mogul to become. They still had the mentality of that mogul because that's who they are. That's what got them there. You know, P had his ways, I got my ways. You know, we bump heads, like, you know what I'm saying? So things didn't go right. But like I said, in the book, you know, I give you all the details. You got the book, so you kind of know that we go into it, and then you'll see, you know, what kind of beef I really had. You know, I ain't gonna even say beef. I'm just gonna say differences with Baby and differences with Master P. So part of the crime, like, you know, was I would say we rival with two of the biggest moguls in hip hop. And that's what people don't be understanding. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had beef with we had differences with two of the biggest moguls that they got in hip hop, and both of those moguls respect us as men. At the end of the day, I can still talk to Babe. I can still talk to Master P. I look them in the eyes. They look me in my eyes. The handshakes are firm, and in each other presence is respect on both sides. So that's all I stand for. I give it, and I just I just want to make sure it come back in return. So that's what we at in this day and time. But it's no problem, no real animosity with those brothers at all, you know.
Right. I noticed that throughout the entire book, like almost no matter what situation go on, you have like a gift. I don't even know if you noticed it, but you have a gift to kind of see the good in a lot of stuff. You kind of I even watch you on the podcast. We're gonna talk about that later, but you kind of like the optimist. So you always find the level head person. Like even though you have a shocking little feisty career when you was young, a little fighter, but you
Right.
very like optimistic and you kind of like the peacemaker. You kind of keep it level headed and you want your respect and you get it.
Right. It's like like I say in the book, I kind of give people understanding on why I'm that way. So you read that part of the book, so you can kind of understand. Like I have no big brother, I had no father figure. You know what I'm saying? So I come up in the project, I come up in some of the harshest environments in New Orleans,
and it's like it's like either I'm gonna stand for something or I'm gonna or I'm gonna be I'm saying I'm gonna fall for anything. Like at the end of the day, it's sink or swim. So I had to swim to get my way out of some of the things that I went through. So I fought a lot. I'm a light skinned guy. I'm a small guy. So I have the Napoleon complex because I feel like everybody's always trying to play on the light skinned small guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the feisty attitude come from. And but in the same on the same token, I was raised by a great mother that instilled in me, what I'm saying, like some great principles about being a good person. You know what I'm saying? So I was raised by good people. I was surrounded by good people as well. Like, what I'm saying, even the people that I picked as a mentor, because they didn't know that they mentored me. I just liked the character of these people. And then I took something from them and it became a part of me. So and I was always like a fair cat, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just fair from beginning, but I was taught to be fair out the gate. You know what I'm saying? My mama made me stand on the fair side of everything. Like, if you was wrong, that's what you get. If, like I was raised that way. So, if that's a part of you, what I'm saying, as you go out throughout life, you just try to find, the 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 most positive side. I'm an optimistic person. I'm not pessimistic. You know what I'm saying? So with being that way, the optimistic people always get the rough end of the stick at times. You know what I'm saying? Because you always looking for hope, or you always giving somebody the better side of it, or trying to be open to them, and you want to get played a lot in those ways. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change who I am at the end of the day, because I think I work under this thing called a God system, and I think that's how God rewards me in life, by being pure at heart, like, what I'm saying, for as genuine with with doing the things that I do. I don't have a motive to try to get something out you for a good deed that I may do for you. I'm gonna give you a small example of what I mean by that. I remember growing up in the Magnolia Project, and I remember my mama buying me some toys. I was a fortunate kid because I had a grandmother and a mother that tried to do as much as they could do for me, right? So I remember going outside playing with this toy. I think I had a Stretch Armstrong. It's like a little toy that you could stretch all different kind of ways. And they had a little kid that I know that lived in a more poverty-stricken situation than mine. And man, the joy I got from just telling that kid you can have it. Like, he was like playing with it. I said, "You really like it?" He was like, "Man, that's my Stretch Armstrong." And I said, "You can have it." He said, "You lying." But to see the joy that was in that kid, feel like, he was a kid. I was a kid. We both was about the same age, but I'm just saying I'm using kid because we was kids. And for that child to be looking like, "You serious?" It was like it was more rewarding than me getting the toy for myself.
Wow.
So I was convicted by that from a kid, and that's just how I come up in life. I have a joy with giving people things, but when it's like when it's respected, or when it's something that people like, they give you back this good like appreciation for it. That's the reward I get out of that. So I go through life looking for those moments. Still, it's almost like a high, like, what I'm saying, like from when I got that the first time. I look
Right.
for that in people today. You know what I'm saying? Like I have some clothes right now that I want to give away. And my wife always say, "Well, just bring it to Goodwill." I'm like, "No, I ain't gonna really feel what I'm looking for. I want to
Right.
give it to some people. They be like, 'Man, thank you. Oh, this look brand new.' Like I like that feeling
Right.
that the person get from, and I feel good being a person to be able to do that. So I just wanted to share that with the viewers. You know what I'm saying? To show them that's the core essence of who I am, and that's what really turned me on in life. That's the joy I get out of those type of things.
Right. I like that. Okay. So y'all were like, when y'all first kind of started popping in the city, that was like 93, 94, right?
Yeah, yeah. Me and Kango got together like a little after, like I graduated from school in '91. Uh, like '92, we started becoming really the partners in crime group. '93 is when we kind of like got our first deal. You know what I'm saying, like, or whatever. But like I said, partners in crime. So that's why we be telling people 30 years at making music, but 32 plus years or something like that with being partners in crime, because we was partners in crime before we started really actually making music. So, what I'm saying? So I'm just giving you the real breakdown on
Right.
what it was. Yeah, but '93 is when we made our first record.
And I didn't realize that it was 30 years until I told y'all I go to all y'all events. We was at the sidewalk ball last year.
Uh-huh.
I think that was last year. You was like, it's been 30 years. And I'm like, damn, it's 30 years for real?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, salute, because that's big, and then y'all a group. I mean, That's a lot. That's
Yeah, 'cause
big.
people break up, go their own
Yeah.
way. Me and Kango just had this brotherhood bind that we swore to, like just to keep it 1,000, like especially when it come down to like this brand that we've built. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Right.
it's both our business, it's both our baby, and it's something that changed both our lives. So we just made a bind to forever fulfill those duties to partners in crime. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
a lot of people be asking like, well, how you and Kango work out so much? Me and Kango have a lot of differences. We see life a lot of different ways. We want to do it this way, he want to do it that way. But what works for us is that somebody gonna lay the facts out. Either Kango gonna lay the facts out. This is the fact. I know what you want to do, but this is the facts behind doing this. Or I'm gonna tell them this is the facts behind doing that. So we go with the facts of the matter. We get out our personal feelings and be like, factually, this is what we should be doing because of this. You're showing me something that's black and white or facts that we gotta go this route or we gotta, like, so that's what we stand on. Like, what I'm saying? We stand on those type of principles, and that's what kept us together this long. You know what I'm saying? Because we've both been loyal to the principles that we stand on.
Right. That's real. Well, around that time, New Orleans was like real hot. We was like murder, crime, all kind of stuff was going on back in the city. And now 2023, we kind of almost to that stage again where we getting high with the murder. Well, not getting, but we getting high with the murders. Do you see any differences between back then, 93, 94 to now?
Well, back then it was a lot of murders, but it was mainly behind money. It was mainly behind, turf wars to a level of like, people trying to just really get money, like, you know what I'm saying? And people trying to invade different spots to make money in people's certain areas. So it was like, I call it turf war because people was just trying to own these certain areas or blocks to make sure that they make their paper. So people was dying from
Right.
hustling in those areas, like, you know what I'm saying? But today it's like senseless murder. Me and my dude who do the podcast, we always talk about murder is murder. There's no such thing, as bad as bad or whatever. But I'm like, nah, certain people have reasons for the things that they do. But it's,
Right.
when you come down to right now, you ask some of these youngsters what it's about. It don't be about nothing but I don't like him. They from over there and we from over here.
Right.
Oh, he messed with a female I mess with. It be stuff like, bro, y'all not even gonna remember this girl 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? You done kill his brother over a girl that you might not even be with for 5. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into the deep side of, and not saying that it didn't happen in the early '90s, but it wasn't as
Right.
as what I'm trying to find a good word for that, but it wasn't like as dominant about those type of things. Like it was mainly over money. But
Money and
today the
drugs.
murder is mainly over just, for a reputation. You know what I'm saying? Just for to say we murdered them boys, we kill them boys. Yeah, we kill 60 dudes. Like it's like a clout thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the but murder have New Orleans been crazy for years. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the reasons that the murder is going on is the only thing that I see is different. You know what I'm saying? Like we've always committed murder. We've always been a wild city, but the level, like I said, now is more like it's more for clout than it is for money.
And they're a lot younger too.
Right, and they're a lot younger. Yeah, you can't. You know what's dangerous about the kids at this time? I can't separate who's who. The good kids look just like the bad kids because they all dress the same. They all wear these
Okay.
hoodies. They all got little. All of them look like good kids, but they bad kids. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
separate. My daughters wear hoodies. You know what I'm saying? And they girls. And I'd be like, why y'all wear them hoodies? It's 100 degrees outside. It's comfortable. I'm like, so it's like a style, and everybody with the style. And now that the internet out, we used to could be like New Orleans had their own thing, but now the whole world be on the same type time at the same time. So you can't separate what's what or who's who, and that's what make it a little bit more scarier and dangerous because you treat them all the same when some of them not even deserving of to be shunned off or to be get from around here. Don't stand around you like some of them kids really good kids, but we treat them all the same because they all look the same. You see what I'm saying?
That's true. Now, I'm ask you a question. I guess it's a two-sided question. I want to say, do you think that the music kind of influences it? But before you answer that, I know somebody gonna probably be saying y'all had a song too,
Yeah,
a bad little drug song. We're gonna talk about that after. But do you think the music kind of has a big influence on the kids right now?
music always have had influence on people, And that's where I feel like we dropped the ball at with certain people because uh, somewhere in my generation or a generation a little younger than me, we didn't explain to those people the power of the tongue. You know, we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? When we made the music that we made, we were just influenced by what was our environment. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So we made music that we thought that was cool. You know what the funny part? When I made the song, when we made the Heroin song, I never was thinking that the Heroin song was gonna take off. That I was promoting it. I was telling people it got me spooking. I'm about to go get a gun. Like I was telling them the effects of what the drug would do. Not that I was
Right.
even on it, because I wasn't a guy that snorted heroin. I was just a guy that was affiliated with a bunch of friends that snorted heroin. So when we
Right.
see what they doing, it got you sick, it got you looking. So we wrote about it. Give me like y'all, even though the melody sound like we was celebrating,
Mhm.
it was like really talking from a junkie perspective of the song, thinking that would make people say, "Ooh, I don't want to deal with that." That was just an immature mind with no good leadership. Nobody telling us like, "Hey, man, y'all sound like y'all promoting this drug." Not. We thought we really was turning off from the drug. So it's amazing that things go that way, but that's really what our real like initial thing was. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna tell them how bad this drug is, and they're gonna make people don't want to mess with it. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And instead people wind up wanting to try it because of how bad you made. It's almost like bad news spread fast. Well, that's the same thing it did with the song. It was bad news, and it spread it like wildfire and turned more people on to it than off from it, from the
Right.
way we initially wanted it to go.
Right now, I might have this wrong because I think I was about 7. I was in second or third grade when that song came out because I remember singing and I remember getting in trouble because they like, "Do you even know what that is?" I'm like, "No," but it was a nice song. But I think I remember the radio Q93 stopped playing that kind of music at a certain time. They would only play it like late at night or something like that. Am I wrong? Or that's how it
Yeah,
went, right?
they come on late. They used to have like at least from 10 o'clock, or something like that, 12 midnight. They'll start playing stuff like that. The same way BET used to do BET Uncut.
I thought so.
So we had a time limit for that explicit stuff, like meaning when the kids should be going to bed, but
Right.
like that's a big change in the game. I'm glad you brought that up because that was the difference. Like we, the songs the music that we had, you couldn't go in Peaches and buy it because you had to be a certain age to buy it. Not anybody can buy music. So that's the change of the times. It's like we made adult music, but it was for adults. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now music is for everybody, no matter how
Yep.
explicit it is, how raw it is. They don't even have radio versions no more.
No. They
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
have a clean version.
Yeah, the radio gonna make a clean version for it. Like if they want to play the record, they pretty much making it now because the artists don't even create it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even count on radio to really blow them up. So it's just a whole new world right now. The internet, like this is something new. It's something that's been around a little second now, but it's new to people like myself because we come from that. People ask me now, "You're gonna release new music?" I'm like, "For what? I don't really know how to make money with it because these kids that come up into the day, all they know is making music and give it away. I don't come from making music and giving it away. I come from making music and selling it. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's a little tough thing for me to make music and just say put it out there and let everybody listen to it for free. And if you make money, you make money. If you don't, you don't. It's hard for me to bargain with that because I come from putting my hard work in, putting it out, and people going to buy it. You see what I'm saying? If they
Right.
appreciate it like that, so it's just different. And that's the sign of the times, meaning like, what I'm saying, we're into something. And that also be letting you know when it's time to give it up. When you can't get with it or understand it, hey bro, leave it for the young people. Let that be their game. If you can't understand how to make money with it, how to deal with it. And that's why I choose to back away from the game of creating music like that because I just don't understand how you make money with it today.
Right. And I remember with the clean version, I wanted the CD. I wanted y'all CD. And I remember I went to the plaza to get the CD and I couldn't get it. My mama wouldn't let me get it, but just so happened the Lord wanted me with that CD because I went to City Park and I got in a bumper calls and somebody left a whole CD player and the
And he had it
CD.
in there.
Yeah,
Boy,
I don't even know what that was.
look how
That's how
things
I got
work.
my first. That's how I got
I
my
be
first
hearing some
CD.
funny stories about how this music get around to people, or how people come across music or get it, or things that happen from music. I was listening to your song and this happened, or I met my girlfriend on this. We first met off of your song. I'd be looking like, wow, so it'd be like these amazing stories that, and I'm always open to him because they all be like, wow, like the way you come across getting a CD, I never heard that kind of story before. So like, wow,
Yeah, I'll never forget. I told, and in fact, when you had responded, I said, "Man, guess what?" And I told her, I said, "Remember when I found that CD? I had a whole CD player. It was the little walk with the Walkman, Discman, whatever it was called, the whole CD player, his whole little book." I was
uh,
happy that day, and I had that CD, and I was rocking that CD when my mama wasn't home, of course. But yeah, so that was real. And also, before we get to the book, how was it when y'all had that song? I can't think of the name of it. When y'all was on the box, you remember that video?
uh-huh.
Was that Rock the Boat?
Oh, let the good times roll.
One of them, because I remember we could never really call the box, but we used to be waiting at the bottom, waiting for the numbers to pop up. Where's PNC about to come on? We used to be watching. How y'all really felt like when y'all was on TV and in the radio? Like how y'all felt?
It was honorable. I ain't gonna lie, I was big headed at that time. Like I felt like I could do no wrong. I just felt above everything, like I'm saying, a little bit. So I'm honest, I'm an honest person. I just be like, yeah, I was kind of conceited, big headed at that time. Still a good person, but still feeling above everything. Like I'm saying, I feel like nobody could touch us. Uh, just felt like I guess however you would think a superstar would feel at the time. Like even though we was considered local at that particular moment, it
Mm-hmm.
still felt bigger than life because everywhere I went, everywhere was going, people was like, "Oh, that's Paul Sequoia." Like, can I take a picture? All that stuff was new to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People grabbing your pants leg in concerts. Girls just begging to what I'm saying, to talk to you. It'll mess any regular person mind up. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
especially if you're young and immature, and like I said, not probably having no real guidance or nobody telling you like you're tripping or you're doing thinking. You come back on the ground or whatever, like get back, level headed. But I never treated people bad, like what I'm saying with it. Unless they tug me or demanded too much from me, then I'll snap. But for the most part, I embrace the love. Like more like, let me take a picture. Come on, until people like, look, start handling me and wrecking my car, messing my cool up. I be like, hold up, bro. Like, hold up, chill out. Like, you damn, like now I get an attitude when you starting to mishandle me to get something done for yourself. So, but
Right.
for the most part, I embrace it. And all the way up to the day, I'm honored when people, what's up, legend? What's up, Pin? It be all love. I rock with people. Anybody that ever came across me, I doubt if I have any bad stories out there where people like, man, he snapped me up, he cursed me out. Like I'm just not him. You know what I'm saying? But I did, and this amongst this, I guess this the competition of just other artists. I just felt above those people. Hello? Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
above those people. I felt above my peers, like the people I had to go against with music. Man, y'all ain't messing with us. We the coolest thing. We the best. Yeah, I felt like that toward them, but the average person, I didn't look like I didn't look down on them like that. You know what I'm saying? I just mainly went against people that thought, or my teachers or people like that told me I wasn't gonna be nothing in life. I go back and shine on them, like like I felt, so that's the arrogant side of what I carried for people that didn't think we'll make it or didn't think we'll be something. I rubbed it in their face. You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
that
As you should. But you come from like humble beginnings.
right.
So like I don't know, like people gonna know this when they get your book, but like when y'all went for y'all deals and when y'all went to the club, y'all was riding on bikes and stuff.
Yeah, man. Gong shows. We rode bikes. We used to bum rides to get on to do the open mic stuff. I remember Kango's sister used to bring us. I had a roommate by the name of Curl. Rest in peace to him. He used to go to St. Aug, and he had a car. Man, dude used to be like, man, where y'all going? Y'all going tonight? Come get y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I remember getting my mom call, stuffing 10 dudes in it. She had a big Delta 88. I'm like, oh, we going to the club tonight? Everybody get in. So whoever can get their mom a call or whatever, like we piling up, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we got around until I was able to get a call. I don't know, I know you probably read in the book where I told Chuck I saved up a certain amount of money and I needed some more money
To get
because
the car.
people starting to know me. Hey, bro, talking about partners in crime. I'm like, bro, I got to get off that bus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, so until once I got me a car, I just never looked back. from that point. It's been caught from caught in, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that first call, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I come from riding bikes and bumming rides, you know what I'm saying? Catching that RTA.
Okay. All right. So, what made you decide to write a book?
It was something I always wanted to do because it was like something that was on my bucket list. You know, I wanted to add author. I always felt like I was a balanced kid. I always felt like I was street smart and book smart. So once I had kind of did what I was doing in music, I was like, man, I just want to tell my story before somebody else. Before I'm getting up in age, and people dying every day. And I'm losing friends. Everybody dying like that. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, you start seeing people leaving. So before God called me home, I'm like, hey man, I want to be able to put my story out, not only for myself but for my kids. I let my kids read the book prior to putting it out, and they was like, Daddy, we didn't even know you. Like we learned a new side. Like we learned a lot with you. Like one of my daughters was telling me, she said this book made me laugh, cry. Like feel sorry for you. Gave me understanding of you. Like all these different emotions she went through as my daughter to know, like, man, you went through this. I ain't know this happened to you. I ain't know you had to do this to get this. So, when you said that was so funny. So that's how this went. You know what I'm saying? So they was learning a lot about me, and it also makes them understand who I am as their father and where I come from to actually be the way I am with them as their father. So you know what I'm saying? So that's what the book did. Like for me, and that's what I wanted to do. I just felt like I was always prejudged by people of being a high head and kind of like high temper toward things, and or super aggressive toward things. And I just wanted people to like just know who I am and where I come from, and maybe you'll have a better understanding of why I'm the way I am. Even though I'm changing a lot as I get older, but I just wanted people to understand my journey so that they can before, like I said, before I leave, they'll at least have something out there saying this was this guy who used to rap with this group. You know what I'm saying? This is what he stood for, and this is what he was. This
Yeah.
this this is his own story in his own words. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
got to tell your story because if not, somebody else gonna tell it.
Right.
So that's real. So, what's your favorite part about the story? What's your favorite part about the book?
Uh, my childhood. My childhood.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, my childhood is my favorite part because that was the hardest part of defining myself. Everything else in life came. It's like I knew what I had to do to get to, like that was the most me as a child. I had to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? But as I became a young man, teenager, whatever, I had kind of understood like what the streets was about. I understood the balance I had. I started knowing who I was, and the rest became it was much more easier for me, like in life, because once I knew who I was, it was just like I know I ain't gonna let you play me. I'm not gonna do like I knew what I was standing for, and I knew I had to move. So life just became like if I want to do it, if I want it, I gotta go for it. Like that just became that part of it. But the younger part of me was like figuring it out. Like damn, you read the book. I said in the book in the beginning. I didn't even know my mom. I told my mama why you took me from the hospital from my real family. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like I didn't think I was even supposed to be in that environment. So that was letting you know the mindset of me was totally confused. Like what in the hell is really going on? Like this can't be my life. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
once I got understanding of that, like the rest was on me from that point, and it wasn't as hard because I knew what I had to do. So that's the best part of the book of me because that was like the most therapeutic part when I had to write it, when I had to go back and feel those emotions of the things I went like that was therapeutic for me. Like some of that shit had water in my eye when I was like, damn, this happening. Because it's my real life and I'm the one who really was going through it. So writing it just wasn't always like the easiest part right there. But that's why it was the best part because it brought me back. And it also helped me know in this day and time my journey and where I had been at. I was like, damn, I've been through some things. I must have blocked a lot of this stuff out, through living. But when you go to writing it, you kind of live it again
Living it.
in your mind. Yeah. So that's the best part to me. That portion of the book, the beginning.
Do you ever see the chick you stole the shoes for?
Nah, I haven't seen Vivian, man, and I ain't stolen shoes. I
I mean,
bought the shoes.
no, you broke in somebody's house to get the money to buy the shoes, right?
No, no, no. You mixed that. I was breaking in houses, but I ain't break. I had a summer job for her. So I
Oh,
had got
okay.
my first summer job. That was when I moved in Holly Grove. So when I
Okay.
was breaking in and doing stealing, I was on Josephine.
That was on Josephine. My bad. My bad.
So when I moved to Holly Grove, it was more like I had got a summer job and I had bought a girl some treats
Oh
on.
yeah, and that's what made the story sad. You right, because you had a job, and I felt bad for you because you spent your money on that girl's shoes, and then you overheard her talking about you, and then you still let her keep the shoes.
Yeah, that's my mama game. That wasn't my game. My game was bringing back and get my money. But my
Right.
mama game was like, no, kill her with kindness, give it to her, just don't mess with her. And I did that. But that kind of game still worked. I ain't even call it game. Being that type of person made me not Indian giver type dude. It made me uh like brush stuff off in life like it ain't even nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was a good game. Like, I wasn't. It didn't feel good when I had to do it, but as I got older, like I still apply some of that stuff now. You can have that, bro. Like that's cool.
Right.
Like if that's what's gonna keep you away from me, or you borrow some money from me and you ain't pay me, go ahead, bro. That's if 40, 50, 60, $100 is the reason you ain't in my life no more. Well, go ahead. Like you eliminate yourself for a real cheap price. So
Save me money.
yeah, so that's how I look at it today with people. Like I'm like, you just eliminated yourself earlier. You know what I'm saying? By doing what you did. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And there's another part, like in the beginning, you talk about your mama, and I have so much respect for the way you talk about your mama, because so many younger dudes have like a lot of mommy issues. They'll take some stuff negative, and then they'll just hate their mama for the rest of their life. But you mentioned some stuff about your mama. You said other people might look at it and think she is abusive, but she not. And you love your mama. You never seem any like you had any issue with her, and I respect that so much. Like that's real.
And that lady was 14 years old, right? When she
Mhm.
gave birth to me. This lady was told by all these adults, get rid of that kid. You're a baby with a baby, don't do it. She said no. I was born breech. My mama, they said they didn't have a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like there was the priest coming in there, like, we gotta take this kid. She was like, no, man, I could feel my baby's alive. She fought for me.
Right.
So, like I said, that's therapeutic to me, because going back thinking about that, I was like, damn, man, my mama good. You know what I'm saying? Like my mama went through it. Like, it was so easy to abort me. It was so easy to give me away to, she fought for me. Like I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for this lady bravery of just saying, I'm gonna go and do that. So I knew that my mama, I knew it then when I was a kid. Her punishments was to save me. She was like, you live in this project. She saw that I fought a lot. She was like, I'd rather keep this nigga inside and I gotta worry about where he at. I ain't gotta worry about when I hit him gunshots that my son is out there and it could be him. So I was mad at the time, but as I think about it, I look at it back at it. I'm like, man, my mom was just trying to protect me. Like she was just trying to, she's trying to keep me close to her. So, in a lot of ways, when I stole from the store, I ain't have no daddy. So my mama catch me stealing, she put my hand over the fire, like, you know what I'm saying? She making me get on my knees, you know what I'm saying, in the corner for hours, because she felt like I'd rather be hard on you than you go out there in the streets and the police beat you down and shoot you or whatever may be the case. So she knew I knew she loved me, and she knew I knew she loved me. So she just was doing what she thought was best. You know what I'm saying, and that's why I say some people will look at it as child abuse or some type of brutality, but ultimately it was just the love of a mother trying to save her son the best way she knew how. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
back?
That's real. Well, yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's real. And I have a son too. And as I was reading it, I kind of started like feeling, and I was saying to myself, I pray that when my son become a man, that he will think like you and actually see that everything I'm doing is to protect him. It's because I love him. It's not because of nothing else. So that's why, I kind of took that part to heart, because I'm like, it took a man for you to, to see that and respect it.
Right, right,
You
right.
could tell you love her because you could tell how you talk about your wife and your girls. You love your girls, and I love that. That's real.
Yep. I was raised by a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my ways of seeing things come from a perspective of a woman. Like my mom she was a little soldier. Like she was a woman. Like what I'm saying. My mama got a virgin broke at a young age, and she didn't have sex again until she was 19 years old. Like what I'm saying. Like and she provoked that on me. She had me scared to have sex. Even if I used a rubber, I was looking like, oh, I hope this girl ain't pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Because she had
Right.
told me you put your little thing in something, you make a baby. Like that. You know, and she was like, that's how it happened to her. So, you thinking that's how it's gonna happen to me. So it
Yeah.
had me scared, it had her scared. And we had a brother-sister relationship. So she was open with me in them 70s and them early 80s when nobody was really open with their child. I was a kind of kid that my mom would be like, Michael, tell me what happened. When other people used to be like, mamas used to be like, you ain't got no voice. You can't say nothing. Adult, you can't tell an adult they did nothing wrong. You can't say that they. I wasn't like that. So, my mama did give me a little freedom to speak and have a voice. And no, even though I called her Diane and wasn't calling her mama, I used to be like, Diane, he did this or this happened. I was able to tell her what it really was, and that's the kind of so that's what taught me with my children. I give my children a voice, like tell me how you feel, even if
Right.
it's gonna hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Even if tell me what you don't like about me, so that I could work toward being better toward our relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a right to have feelings too. So, I stopped smoking weed because my daughters told me they didn't like how it smelled
Wow.
and it smell like roach spray. And I'm moody, and I said, well, you know what? It ain't worked y'all relationship. I gotta cut that off because I don't want to be looked at like that. With y'all. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying? I love
Right.
y'all unconditionally, so I don't want to be looked at like that person. You see what I'm saying?
Right. All right. So as we come into the end of the interview,
All
I
right.
have two questions for you. Then we're gonna talk about what they could buy the book. So my
Oh,
first question, of course, I gotta, where I stay at the police all day. All right. So the first question is, if you could pick one favorite PNC song, what's your favorite PNC song?
my favorite PNC song gotta be I like a lot of them, but my favorite PNC song probably is "Move Around." It's a song that y'all probably don't know. Move around. It's just I like it. You know what I'm saying? So that got to be one of my favorite ones. We going to the third wall.
Yeah.
Like I like that one a lot too. But I like a lot of part of the crime music. But those was one of my favorite. Even when creating it, just the whole vibe of it. It brings me back to time, like a time in the studio, what we was doing at that time, like the vibe we was on, the energy that was around us. So all that be playing a part with why I like the song, because people don't know what going to making these songs.
Right. Now I'm gonna say this. One thing I feel bad for these children, and like anybody 30, I'm gonna say 30 and up, they could probably understand what I'm saying. But these poor children these days don't have dances and stuff like we used to have, so they'll
Right.
never know how it feel to hear when that song, when that beat drop, and then Kango start singing, if you want to see the hoes pop and make it wiggle, like them little beats,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
way that they used to turn
The
like the phone.
breakdowns, yeah, the breakdowns to it, like yeah,
Yes,
to set it up, to set you up to
yes.
cut up. Right, right, right.
Them children, they'll never, man. That's one thing I feel bad. My kids will never know how that feel to hear that song and then cut up. Then the one with Weeby,
Right.
man, that song was fire. All right, and my next question, which is my favorite question I ask everybody, is if you could go back in time and talk to 17-year-old Michael and talk to him about life, what would you tell Michael?
I would tell Mike, man, first of all, go ahead and get your degree, education, like you know what I'm saying, because life life don't always go the way you plan. You know what I'm saying? And you might want to have, you might want to have a skill level, or not even just a degree, but go ahead and get you a skill level that you can always count on, that you can do, that can take care of you and your family. And what else I would probably tell them? I would probably tell them to man, stay on the straight and narrow. They don't have no shortcuts in life. You know what I'm saying? Those shortcuts don't do nothing but bring you into a brick wall, really, like, you know what I'm saying? And you wind up right back on until you get on the straight and narrow. That's the only way, you know what I'm saying, that you're gonna really get to where you really, really trying to go. You can make all these cuts and curves, but it always bring you back to a spot that's gonna bring you back to the straight and narrow. So if you can just stay on the straight and narrow, brother, you're gonna see a lot of stuff. It might be a little slower than what was going around you, but it's for sure, and it's gonna get you there, and you're gonna have a lot of peace and less stress. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just stay on the straight and narrow. So that's what I would tell a 17-year-old me, you know, if I was able to talk to myself back then.
Okay. All right. Any regrets in the music business?
Any regrets in what?
In the music, with your music career?
No, I don't have no regrets. Yeah, I feel like everything went the way it was supposed to be. Even if, like people say, if I could fix, you know, they saw Cash Money blow up, they saw No Limit blow up, and it was like, man, you know, if you wouldn't have did what, you know, if you wouldn't have had a disagreement with these guys, you could have been on with them. And I say, nah, bro. I said, those things that I had a problem with, that was the rightful way. I stood on the right side of that. I wasn't wrong for saying what I did, what I pulled to get, or you know, I didn't do nothing wrong. Like you know what I'm saying. So you know, I wasn't taught to bite my tongue about stuff that I really stand for. So if it was going against my moral, the moral person that I am, or my morals that's within me, then I shouldn't have been that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So nah, I don't have no regrets in the music. It went the way it was supposed to go. Partners of Crime still here today and working the way that God wanted us to work. Because I always think about it like this. If I'd have received the money and the fame at the time that was offered to me at that time, I wouldn't have my wife, I wouldn't have my kids. And those things are priceless. Right now, you couldn't give me all the money in the world to get rid of her or them. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me I give you millions and millions and billions of dollars if you just cut her off and cut them off, and we'll give you all the money in the world, I wouldn't take it. So I'm rich right now. I got what I need. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I got the most valuable things. Money couldn't even buy that for me. So I'm in a good place. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not messed up. Like, cause that's really what people can say what they want to say, think what they want to say, but that's honestly how I really feel. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
And you got your little grandbaby too now, huh? What she
Got
call
my
you?
little grandbaby symphony, you know what I'm saying? It's just all those things are priceless to me. So I don't regret any of that. It went the way it's supposed to go. And you know, even when I look back, you know, I'm like, man, that's what I knew. You know, if God didn't want me to know that, that wouldn't have been instilled in me. And I would have been naive to it, and it went the way it went, just like other things that happened to me that I was naive about. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, I'm trying to just let it y'all messed up.
And I don't think no other group lasted as long as y'all anyway. So I definitely think y'all did things the right way. Y'all stood on
Mhm.
principle, and that's why y'all still around today.
Right, right. So you know, I thank you. I thank you for even taking the time. I know we done planned to do this multiple times, never could get to doing it, and I'm glad that we're finally able to get to do it. And I'm glad that you wanted to highlight the book the way that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's big for me. I respect anybody that's, you know what I'm saying, like trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Elevate. You know what I got going on. So I appreciate you for putting on your platform and taking the time out to read the book and ask these like great questions that you ask, because not too many people ask me these type of questions. So this some good stuff, you know.
Good, I appreciate it. And so I do want to talk about the book. I forgot to say, we forgot to tell them we have a giveaway because we're gonna be giving away one of MistaMeana books.
Right.
We're gonna be giving away. You want to ask? You want a question? You want to ask them?
Uh, what question? I thought you would probably had the question.
Oh,
Because I don't know. I would have thought you would have had the question.
all right. This is what I'm gonna do. When I drop the video, I'm gonna put in the caption. I'm gonna put a question, and the first person to respond is going to get the book. We're gonna do it like that. We're gonna do that.
Okay, I take
All
that.
right.
Okay.
So let them know how they could buy the book. I forgot.
Well, think about a book. I got a website. It's called Shop Graffiti. So it's spelled ShopGraffeetee.com. Shop Graffiti, right? And but if people want to get it from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, you know what I'm saying, it's on all those type of sites as well. You know what I'm saying? I just prefer them to come to me directly because that make them people don't have to get in my pocket. You know, because
Right.
all those sites want to take some of your money and they want to take a nice little chunk of it. So if
Oh,
people, but however people prefer to spend their money, go ahead and do it. It's still all beneficial toward getting the book out there and sold.
right.
But if you want to help me the best way is to go to my site, get it from my site, and you know, we'll go that route with it.
And
But
it
if you
come
catch me on
fast,
the street, if
y'all.
you're in New Orleans and you catch me on the street and you want that autograph one, I'm doing an autograph one because I keep some on me. So you can personally catch me anywhere. I keep them books with me. You know what I'm saying? They own me. So if you see me in Walmart, you see me anywhere. Mike, you got a book? Meaning you got a book? Yeah, we walk with me to the car. I got it for you. You know what I'm saying? So and I autograph it for people. And like I said, I appreciate the love, man. This is a new journey for me, a new venture, and I just appreciate how everybody's been embracing the book. I'm also gonna be coming out with an audio book soon. You know, that just take a little time, but I'll be coming out with an audio book for people that don't like to read. They get to listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. And
Okay.
oh, you gotta tell them about the shirts.
Listen, all that's on shopgraffiti.com. Run that PNC. See, I made that shirt like that because people say that we was like the Run DMC of New Orleans, like meaning like, you know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
with them saying that, I took the concept of Run DMC and just put like how we talk. Run that
Right.
PNC. You know, that's how we talk.
Uh-huh.
Man, run that PNC for me right now. DJ, run that PNC. So I just sold it the way that we talk, our lingo, the whole nine, and the classic look of the Run DMC concept. So that's pretty much what I put out there, and that's what that you know. That's how I come up with the concept for the gift that run that PNC to the people. You know.
Right. All right. So remember, if y'all order from the shop graffiti, the book come fast. So don't think it's gonna take all day. Cause I got two, but I think the shop graffiti and my shirt came before my Amazon book. You
Right.
definitely gotta autograph mine. So remember, here is the book. I learned a lot about it. They even have like they gave me a whole history on bounce that I didn't even know. I learned a lot in this book. And I couldn't tell y'all everything because I want y'all to read it, but I promise y'all this is a good book. It's sad, happy, and I forgot to tell a funniest story in the book is when y'all did the concert in Lafayette.
We did the concert in
When
Lafayette.
y'all was pretending like y'all was Jubilee.
Oh, when we had to play like we was Jubilee. Yeah, that's how we got paid. That's our first paid show. So yeah. So see, we got all kind. I'm telling a lot of great stories that people wouldn't know. And did you know that before you read the book?
Never knew that. I never knew any of this stuff. Like, and I'm telling you, I read it because I told you at first when I wanted to do the interview, I said, let me read the book because I wanted to read it. But I'm so happy I did because you have a very interesting story. You was getting paid to fight people. I'm telling y'all gotta read this book because y'all gonna look at MistaMeana in a whole nother way. Like you, it's a
Right,
good
right.
book. I ain't
I
gonna lie.
appreciate. I really appreciate that. You know that you like that was a good read for you like that, and that choosing to talk about it and speak on it to the people about it. Like I'm really honored. That you went that route with it. So I thank you again, man. I'm proud. Like
For sure.
my glasses. I'm
All
tripping.
right, so we to the end of the show. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow and support this untold story of an unknown legend. And I don't know why he say unknown because he is a legend. Everybody know him. I thank you for this.
Let me
Like
tell
you
you
don't
why
know
I
how
call
much
it. Let me tell
this
you why I
means to
say.
me.
Let me tell you why I call it the unknown legend.
Go ahead.
The reason why I say I'm an unknown legend is because in my city I'm considered a legend, but I've been around the world, and a lot of people don't know me for the same level that the city may know me. So
That's
I
true.
was looking for people that look at me outside. They'd be like, if I call myself a legend, they'd be like, who is this dude? So I call myself an unknown legend because I might not be
Right.
known to you, but you get into my story, you'll understand why my city called me a legend. See what I'm
Facts.
saying? So
Every
that's
every
why it's considered unknown because I would think about people outside of the city more than people inside the city.
don't forget to tell them about the podcast.
Oh, look, we got a podcast that we do every Tuesday and Thursday. It's called No Rap Cap Podcast. I co-host with my partner Gary and my other partner Timer. Man, we cut up, we go in, we talk that talk. And, yeah. I want y'all to check it out. It's called No Rap Cap Podcast. It's on YouTube, and like I said, every Tuesday and every Thursday for 7 p.m. Make sure y'all tune into us, man. We acting a plum fool on there.
And they stay in a lot of stuff. So y'all really, especially right now, y'all gotta go watch because they got a lot going on right now.
Right. You're right.
All right, but again, thank you so much, Mr. Mina, for doing this for me. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening. And if the Lord say the same, I'll see y'all next week. Remember to like and subscribe.